The Atlanta Hawks are expected to make big moves this offseason, and there's a lot of names being thrown out as potential trade baits and trade suitors. Most people talking about Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, but in this video, I'm going to highlight some potential trades for DeAndre Hunter. Now, a lot of people are saying he's a goner too, and if he is, I kind of want to put together some potential trade scenarios for the Atlanta Hawks to get some value in return for DeAndre Hunter. Now, caveat here, majority of the trades on the market are including him with another point guard. So it would be DeAndre Hunter and Trae Young, or DeAndre Hunter and DeJounte Murray. In this video, I just want to find trades specifically for DeAndre Hunter. Now, I love DeAndre Hunter. I think he's a phenomenal player, but because of some inconsistencies and because of some injuries, I think it'd be best for the Atlanta Hawks just to move on. We've tried this experiment. It hasn't fully working out for 100%. And so I think it's best to move on. Let's not start over, but let's move a different direction where we can get some value for DeAndre Hunter because he is still a pretty good player. Now, first trade scenario, and I think the one that makes the most sense, is trading Marcus Smart for DeAndre Hunter straight up. I think this helps both teams. Number one, Memphis, it gives them a large, younger wing that can shoot the ball. And then for the Atlanta Hawks, it gets them a additional guard who can defend at a high level. Imagine Trae Young or even DeJounte Murray playing along with Marcus Smart. Now, I know some people say he's limited in shooting and his offense ability, but from a defense perspective, if you can put two players together and then pair them with another big wing who can dribble and make plays like Brandon Ingram, you're starting to build a team. So rather it's Trae Young or DeJounte Murray. I think this fits well for the Atlanta Hawks, and if they're able to get him, I think it'll be a phenomenal pickup. Now, a couple things. The salary is pretty much even, so no additional picks will probably be necessary. I think the value's pretty much even for both players. One thing for Atlanta that could help them in the future is Marcus Smart is on a 2-year additional deal, and DeAndre Hunter has 3 years on his deal. So I think that can help. It can give him an extra free year, but still $20 million. But to a guy who can play along with whoever point guard we go with in the future, I think he's a great defender, and he's a proven defender who can score. Second trade scenario. Now, this one may go controversial, but I think this is a lot of good value, a lot of good young value for the Atlanta Hawks. So in this scenario, I would trade DeAndre Hunter for Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr. Now, with a lot of questions going forward of who we're keeping at center, are we drafting Alex Sarr? Is Clint Capella gone? Is whoever gone? A lot of people don't know what's going on. And I think for us to get some value, I think it'd be good value to get Wendell Carter. He was a top 5, top 10 pick, a lottery pick. He can play well. I mean, he averaged, I think, like 8 points last year or 10 points last year. I can't tell you, but he's a pretty good defensive player. He's a young player. He still has a lot of athletic ability, and he has a lot of upside. I mean, he reminds me of Okongwu right now. I know they're different skill sets, but he kind of reminds me of Okongwu, and I know Onyeka, a lot of people are putting Onyeka in trade scenarios too, so why not get Okongwu and then Cole Anthony, who is a good scoring threat. He can come off the bench and light it up. He's also a good backup point guard who, with injuries, can step into a starting role. And I think for Orlando, this helps them out. They got a lot of players. They don't know really what direction they're going in, but they have a lot of point guards, and they kind of probably want to move off some and get a 3-and-D wing player who can play along with Paolo, and I think DeAndre Hunter can do that. So I think Wendell Carter would be good upside for the Atlanta Hawks because he plays defense, and he's a good, solid piece at the forward center position. And then Cole Anthony can come off the bench. He can score. He can light it up, and that would be a good addition for the Hawks as well. Building that bench out, especially if you're able to get some other big names in free agency or additional trades. Third trade scenario, this one may be interesting for a lot of people, but I have Caris LeVert and Gorgeous Niang traded for DeAndre Hunter and Garrison Matthews. I just threw Garrison Matthews to make the deal work. Now, I think this is good, solid return for DeAndre Hunter. I think Caris LeVert can be a 10 to 15 point guy. He can either come off the bench or be inserted in starting lineups. He's 6'6", so a big wing. He can play that 2 position along another big guard. He can play with Trae Young, and he's a pretty good defender. And then Gorgeous Niang, he can hit the 3. He can come in, pop in, play that 4 position, allow Jalen Johnson to play the 3 position, maybe bring in Brandon Ingram to play 2, Trae to play 1, and then we have the center and Alex Sarr. You're talking about you're building a roster and building building a team, or Niang can come off the bench. He can light it up. He can shoot threes, and he is a good role and team motivator, and he can really anchor that second unit if you need to come in and then leader for the second unit. So I think that's a lot of value for giving up DeAndre Hunter. I think those are two pretty good players for the Cavs, and looking at the Cavs' perspectives, they don't know what direction they're going to go in. They're probably going to get rid of one of their bigs. They're probably going to get rid of one of their guards. It's good for them to get some young talent, and I think it'd be a good trade for both parties. Last trade, now this is very, very controversial, and I just threw this on here just because this could be something that could work. But Keegan Murray and Trey Lyles for DeAndre Hunter in a second rounder. I think Keegan Murray can light it up, and I don't think they're trying to get rid of him. But I think if they're able to get maybe or think about getting DeAndre Hunter, that's something they would truly, truly, truly think about. The Kings, they were good 2 years ago, and then they kind of took a big step back. So I think they're trying to pick up all the pieces and really evaluate what they got going on. And I think Keegan Murray can be at 6'8", can be a great pairing piece for either Trae Young or DeJounte Murray. I think he can light it up. I think he can shoot. And I think the Atlanta Hawks need shooters as well as guys, big guards who can play defense. And I think Keegan Murray fits the bill. And then Trey Lyles, too. Really solid, reliable power forward. He can start. He can come off the bench. I think when it comes to finding places for DeAndre Hunter to go and getting return, you want to find guys who can not only play in that starting role position, but can come off the bench depending on the lineup. They can anchor that second unit or play some good starting minutes. And especially as, who knows what's going to happen to our backcourt or our front court. We need players, big 6'8", 6'9", 6'10 players down low. I think Trey Lyles would be a good addition to the Atlanta Hawks. And then the Kings get a young wing long defender, and they can spend time developing him. He can play along well with Sabonis. What is his name? Sabonis? Domantas Sabonis? I can't think of his name, but don't flame me in the comments. But yes, he can play along with him, and who knows? That could work down there as well. So those are my 4 potential trade options for DeAndre Hunter. I know that's a lot going on, and I know a lot of people are going to hate those, but I really think good move, honestly, would be for Marcus Smart. And I think that just makes it's an even trade for both sides, and that's something truly both teams will need going forward. From there, this allows us and them to build out their roster, and I just think it's a good move for both parties. But if you agree or disagree with me, please leave a comment down below. Let me know. And if you want to see more videos like this, check this one out right here. And like always, peace.